Hi, Rick. Welcome to the Word is Art.
Thanks, Sean. Happy to be here.
Wonderful. Now, I want to ask you a few questions, if you don't mind.
All right.
Okay. I understand you work in the steel mill.
Yes.
And is this where you got your inspiration for your medium?
It's where I figured out how to work with it. But, I got inspiration for my medium because I was trying to do paintings. I was putting a gallery show together. I filled the gallery with paintings and drawings and sketches. And it was my first solo show ever. It just didn't feel serious enough. So the gallery owner said, hey, you know, these would look terrific if they were made out of steel. And I thought, gee, I know how to do that. So I went and did it, made one, brought it back. I had access to a steel fabrication place. I brought the work back the next day and they said, well, bring more. So that was 15 years ago, and I don't know.
So this was like before the steel mill, or like after?
I worked in a steel fabrication company for my stepfather from the time I was 12 to 18.
Wow.
18 to 23 in a steel mill.
You're a steel guy.
I started showing my art when I was 33.
What state was it?
Here, California, Central Valley, by Stockton.
Let me ask Joe, what is the glow that we see behind your work? It's pretty interesting.
Glow behind it?
Yeah, that highlighter, that's pretty wild, fascinating. Trade secret?
It's light.
Light.
So the back of the piece is painted with fluorescent paint.
Yeah.
The lights on the ceiling, bounces off the wall, reflects the fluorescent paint back onto the wall.
It's a great effect.
So everybody thinks there's an actual light back there.
Yeah, no, it's
So people go to my shows and
almost like
they're like trying to look, and they think it's plugged in, but the light's up there actually. It works even better with natural light on a white wall. So this is it's just a really light halo, just barely. It's all about the shape, so it just adds to the shape and gives it some depth, and it'll change with the light a little bit.
Yeah, very nice. Well, okay. What do you consider your finest achievement to date?
Artistically?
Yeah, of course. Well,
you know, recently I did a piece in Grand Rapids that was called Kids at Play. It was 40 pieces that were made out of wood, actually, and I pounded them into the ground. It was in the grass in front of the YMCA. And so I cut them out, painted them, shipped them out.
40 pieces?
40 of them, little ones, little like running figures.
oh yeah.
From like this big to this tall. Anyway, you know, like a real estate sign. I put a wood stake and put them in the ground. And it was 50 yards long. It was like they were running across the grass. And I left it. So you could just take them.
Oh.
Yeah, that's
Well,
great.
All right.
That was fun.
Did you take pictures of them?
Oh, sure, yeah.
Of course.
I think that's where I first saw them. That's why I asked that question.
Yeah, that was fun.
I wanted
It took
to
about
hear
a
you.
month for them to go away.
Yeah.
Incredible. Let me ask you this now, final question. In what direction are you headed? Do you see yourself, and where would you like your art to be in 5 years?
Oh, sure. Well, more of the same, probably a broader use of materials. You know, still the steel, the primitive pop shapes, that's the basics, the core of what I do. I find myself getting into more prints, more public installations, just ramping it up. You know, I run an ad agency during the day, and so my art career has always been sort of a second career, and something I just kept going. It's gone up and down. I've always kept it alive. Wanted to save it for a little bit later, and focusing on it more and more. But I think public work, public places, that fascinates me more than galleries. Galleries are fun, they're cool. The public space is what I really want to be. Right now I have 2 billboards up and 1 digital billboard on the Sunset Strip. So that's exciting. Kind of be in a place where you don't expect art to happen. That's I think very visceral and disrupts expectation. And it's exciting for me.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, Rick Robinson, we thank you for the time and wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
And thanks for being at the Word is Art Gallery.
My pleasure.
Appreciate it. All right.
Hi, Patrice Springer. Welcome to the Word is Art again.
Thank you very much.
There's always something in there.
I'm going to ask you a few
Whatever
questions
other
if I
events
may.
happening, gallery
When did you learn that you wanted to paint? When did you feel like this inspiration?
I've always painted, or I've always made like cards when I was little for my parents, and I've always drawn. So I
Kind of born with it.
kind of, yeah. And then I
always been with it.
painted, and I took drawing in high school, and then I majored in college, and I got my fine arts degree, and I actually wanted to be an interior designer, but then it kind of I got married, life got in the way, so I stopped UCLA, and I was working at Sony, at Columbia at the time, but now it's Sony, and I have a great job, so I kind of just paint on the side.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful. Let me ask you, do you paint any other subject matter other than architecture?
Yeah, I mean, I have some still lives. I like to do still lives, and I've done people. But mostly I like doing just like splashing color and looking at color when I'm looking at buildings, or the plants around buildings, and that's kind of like what I love to do.
Do you paint in real life or photography? You use photographs?
Half and half. Sometimes I'll take sketches or whatever, and then I go back and usually work on my digitals.
Do you have any
And I have
preference?
worked I've done still lives from real.
Do you have a preference, or which you like better, or?
Either one. It takes me a long time. I mean, I take forever to do a painting, so, whichever. They're both about the same.
It takes me a long time also.
Yeah.
I
Sometimes it
understand.
takes me like 3 months to do a painting, because I work full time, so it's
Sure.
hard.
Oh, yeah. You ever see yourself dabbling in abstract or any other mediums?
No. I've used boards, different mediums that way, charcoal, pencils,
Sure.
things like that, but nothing abstract.
What are your goals as an artist?
I think this is really nice. This has been great for me. It's the first time I've ever shown my art. So I think that my goal is just to keep painting and keep loving my surroundings and color.
Well, it shows. It shows you enjoy what you do, and the love comes out in your work. It's very impressive.
I love your work. I love the
Thank you
colors,
very much.
your color usage, and just its subject matter has always been a passion of mine too. Architecture, interior design, landscape, all of that. It's just, it's beautiful.
Major in my life. I mean, even when I'm at home, I like to arrange my house or whatever. It's all Southwest, by the way.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Did you ever live in Santa Fe?
No, but I've gone there just about every year.
I used to live there.
Did you?
Oh yeah, for 3 years I lived. Yes,
Beautiful city.
it really is. Well, it's a pleasure to have you as part of the Word is Art Gallery.
Thank you so much for allowing me to be here.
Oh, definitely. I wouldn't have it any other way. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrice.
Thank you.
Hi, this is Jennifer Goyette. This is the Word is Art. Thank you, Jennifer. This is a wonderful event, an exciting event you're putting on. Let me ask you something, a few questions, if I may. At present, you represent several artists.
Right.
How did you get started in this field?
Actually, I have a lot of friends who are artists, and I was always trying to give them advice on marketing, because I've worked in marketing for a very long time in many companies. And so I finally realized, I'm like, I wonder if I can make a career out of this. And so I was working at Sony, and I knew I didn't.
In this field?
Actually, I have a lot of friends who are artists, and I was always trying to give them advice on marketing, because I've worked in marketing for a very long time in many companies. And so I finally realized, I'm like, I wonder if I can make a career out of this. And so I was working at Sony, and I knew I didn't want to keep going where I was going, so I'm like, let me just try it and see how it goes. And that was it.
Did you meet Patrice at Sony?
Yeah, we worked together at Sony,
okay.
so that's how we met.
Do you find it challenging to promote each artist individually?
Yeah, I mean, you do have to get specific, because each artist has different goals, different needs. There's different markets that are good for one artist versus another, so you do really have to kind of really take a look at what's going to work best for them and do something individual for each one.
And what are your goals in this kind of business venture that you're into?
Well, my goal is to help emerging and mid-career artists become become well-known and successful artists. And eventually I'd also like to start my own store so they can sell the work directly to people all over the world. Yeah.
I noticed you have like the musicians in your...
Oh yeah, I do represent musicians too.
It's a blend of different genres of artists.
Yeah, but it's interesting, the art and music, there's a lot of overlap there, I've been finding. So.
Interesting, huh? I know in music it's a whole nother world.
It
totally
is.
different.
Yeah, there's a lot of like gallery events now that have music or stuff like that, where like even like venues like bars that now do art events, so it kind of like they're all kind of meshing together now.
Is there an area in the arts that you would like to add to your repertoire for clients?
Yeah, I try and find artists that are different from what I have already. I'm really looking for like anyone who's just got a different sensibility or a different feel, genre. But I'm open to any type of art pretty much.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, I think you're doing a great job, and we appreciate you being with us here. And
Thank you.
I wish you all the success and luck with your venture.
Okay, yeah, thank you for letting me through this event here.
It's been our pleasure, really. I enjoyed, sharing this time with you and your artists, and I love the people that you represent, and I wish you much success in your career.
Okay, we're here with Gonzalo Algarate. Welcome to The Word is Art again. Thank you for being here. I wanted to ask you a few questions, if I may. Okay. First of all, in your opinion, regarding art opportunities, what do you find is the biggest difference between living in the U.S. compared to Uruguay, where you were born?
Well, the difference in opportunities, I can explain the situation right now because I've been living here for long time. Yeah. So every time I go to Uruguay, it's just for a couple of weeks or maximum 3 weeks. So I don't know I never did any shows over there, any work over there. So I don't know what's really the opportunity for me being in Uruguay.
Yeah.
I see.
Here, I can talk about here.
Yeah.
It's been a struggle. It's hard for an artist to get out there and to get recognized and show and be active and try to,
Of course.
keep
Not the easiest
Keep it up.
place. Art is very difficult.
Yeah.
Whether it's music, painting, sculpting,
Right.
all forms of art, dancing.
Art is difficult.
Let me ask you, could you tell us what the process of metal fabrication is?
Metal fabrication is more putting structural pieces of metal together by welding it or screwing them or making some kind of design. That would be fabrication. Now, when you see my pieces, like these ones, there's no fabrication. I mean, there's fabrication involved in the bases, in the board, but not on the actual sculptures. That's another completely different process.
Depends what you're doing.
Right.
Now you mastered the art of patination. So what is patination exactly?
Patination.
Patination.
Oh, patination.
Yes.
Well, patina it's a chemical reaction from a solution to the metal. The metal reacts when you apply this chemical. You can achieve different colors by using different chemicals. But at the same time, you can, between those colors, you can have different ranges of tones and how can I explain?
It ages. It kind of ages the
you
metal.
oxidizing the metal. You're speeding the oxidation of the metal. So when you use heat or cold, you're using different methods, and you have to.
kind of like getting the technique to get to what you like into the color of the metal.
Yeah, using heat.
So you have
color.
to work it and work it and work it. That's when you.
It's a process. Huh?
It's a process, and not every patina it's alike. It's a unique piece. I mean, you can have if you see all these pieces, it's a good example because they're all green, but they're not all the same.
Yeah, it's different. Sure.
They have a different. If I'm myself doing a patina and somebody else right next to me using the same chemical, the same heat, the same metal, it will become different. It will become something else.
Yeah, interesting.
So achieving a master on patination is working and getting experience and everything else, like painting or sculpting.
Speaking of painting, you started out drawing and painting. Which medium are you more passionate about working in?
It doesn't matter. I feel comfortable with paintings and oil painting, acrylic, or working on clay, wood, metal, wet clay, oil-based plastilines.
You're a true artist.
I feel comfortable working on everything. I do things. I create things with anything that you can.
It's natural.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, do you prefer working with live subjects from photos or simply use your imagination?
I use both. I use photography. When I want something specific or achieve a certain look, I use photography. When I want a little bit of imagination, it comes from my head. And like all these came from my head, that one, all the other little pieces, they come from my head.
Do you ever use a live model or live person? Go from your head?
Sometimes I cheat a little bit. I use like pictures, but looking at the poses more than the figure itself, I modify it. Like if I want to do a piece that is holding the hand like this, I will take a picture, and see the anatomy of it. But it will be completely different. I'm just taking reference.
Yeah, for reference. Sure, I understand. Well, Alonso, we're very grateful for having you here, and we love your art.
Thank you for having me.
We're so appreciative of you being here. I want to thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you.
We love your work, Gonzalo.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks for this interview.